presented by Myth and Greet. Leave a like and subscribe.
Have you ever imagined what it would be like to face the forces of chaos every night to ensure the sun rises again? That is the daily mission of Ra, the Egyptian god of the sun, whose battle against Apophis, the serpent of chaos, determines the fate of the world. But does he always win? And what would happen if chaos triumphed? Get ready to embark on an epic journey through the underworld, where light and darkness clash in an eternal cycle. In a land of ancient mysteries, at the heart of Egypt, the god Ra ruled as the very embodiment of the sun. During the day, he sailed across the sky in his sacred bark, illuminating the world and upholding order. But as night fell, his journey became far more perilous. Ra did not rest. Instead, he began his treacherous passage through the underworld, the Duat, where he faced the forces of chaos led by the monstrous serpent, Apophis. Each nightfall, the horizon transformed into a portal to the Duat, and Ra, accompanied by loyal deities such as Ma'at, the goddess of truth and order, and Seth, the fierce warrior, embarked on his bark for a journey fraught with danger. He knew this mission was vital to the world's existence. Without his victory in the underworld, chaos would consume everything, and the sun would fail to rise the next day. The Duat was a surreal realm, filled with stark contrasts. Regions of absolute darkness were interspersed with fiery lakes, shadowy labyrinths, and gates guarded by grotesque creatures. Silence was often broken by menacing whispers, the mocking laughter of condemned souls, or the distant roar of Apophis. Yet, Ra pressed forward with unwavering resolve, fully aware of the weight of his responsibility. At the center of the bark lay the solar disk, a radiant sphere that was both Ra's weapon and his essence. It emitted enough light to repel many of the dangers lurking in the underworld, but its energy waned over time. To restore it, Ra relied on the hymns and prayers of the living, whose chants strengthened both the god and his light. As the bark approached the first gate of the Duat, guarded by a fiery lion, Ra readied himself. His mission was not merely to traverse the underworld, but to confront the serpent Apophis, whose presence made the air heavy and oppressive. However, that battle was still far ahead. First, he would need to pass the trials of each gate, relying on Ma'at's wisdom and Seth's strength to safeguard the bark through the perilous journey. Ra's bark moves cautiously, cutting through the dark river that wends its way through the underworld. Each region of the Duat presents a new challenge, and the first major test is quick to appear. From the shadows emerge misshapen creatures, tormented spirits known as the Devourers of Light. Their indistinct forms twist like smoke as they reach for the bark, drawn irresistibly to the glow of the solar disk. Seth, with his fierce gaze and warrior instinct, raises his gleaming spear and takes the front line. Each strike of his weapon dispels the creatures, turning them to ash that vanishes in the wind. Meanwhile, Ma'at chants protective verses, invoking the power of truth to repel the forces of chaos. Her sacred words cause the solar disk to shine even brighter, pushing the devourers back. Ra remains at the center of the bark, unwavering, but he feels the weight of his task. He knows the Devourers of Light are just a forewarning of the true danger awaiting them. With every meter they advance, the air thickens, laden with the malevolent presence of Apophis. As they cross a narrow bridge surrounded by an endless chasm, the next challenge appears, the Labyrinth of Illusions. This magical trap is designed to deceive the senses, creating visions of fear and doubt. The river splits into multiple paths, all seemingly identical. The crew aboard the bark hears familiar voices, whispers from loved ones calling for help, attempting to divert their course. Ma'at, ever vigilant, warns the crew, "Chaos feeds on our fears and uncertainties. We cannot yield to the illusions." With her guidance, Ra keeps the course, trusting his divine intuition to choose the right path. Seth, however, is provoked by a vision of his own failure, but his anger and determination ultimately overpower the mental traps set before him. As they finally leave the labyrinth behind, the river begins to merge once more. The silence that follows is unsettling, Yet there is a brief moment of relief. They have passed yet another trial, but Ra's energy has visibly diminished. The glow of the solar disk is weaker, a stark reminder that time is running out. Ra's bark advances with difficulty, surrounded by a darkness so deep that even the glow of the solar disk seems to be swallowed. The deafening roar intensifies, and then from the shadowy river emerges Apophis, the colossal serpent of chaos. Its form is terrifying, a sinuous, endless body, scales as black as night, and eyes that glow with a threatening red. The presence of Apophis is suffocating. The bark rocks violently as the monster attempts to coil around it. Seth is the first to react, shouting a challenge and hurling his spear toward the serpent's head. The strike cuts through the air with incredible force, but Apophis is swift. With a serpentine motion, she dodges and counterattacks, her massive jaws nearly crushing the bark. Ra raises his scepter, channeling the power of the solar disk. A beam of light slices through the darkness, striking Apophis squarely. The serpent recoils, but only for a moment. Its laughter echoes throughout the underworld, a sound that seems to shake even the dark river. "Your light is weakening, Ra," whispers Apophis with a voice that reverberates like 1,000 thunderclaps. This time, chaos will prevail. Mott, sensing the gravity of the situation, appeals to the universal forces of order. She chants firm incantations, her energy connecting directly to the solar disk. The disk's glow increases slightly, but it is clear that it will not be enough to defeat Apophis. The serpent strikes again, coiling around part of the bark with crushing spirals. Seth, with unwavering fury, leaps onto the bark and faces Apophis in hand-to-hand combat. His weapons, forged from pure divine power, meet resistance in the serpent's scales, but he does not retreat. Each blow he strikes is not only raw strength, but a manifestation of his commitment to protect the balance. As the battle rages on, Ra focuses his remaining energy. He knows that only the solar disk can destroy Apophis, but to do so, he needs the help of the living on the surface. He invokes one final prayer, connecting with the people who sleep beneath the starry sky. The call transcends the veil between worlds, reaching the priests and followers who uphold the cycle of life. The glow of the solar disk reaches an intensity never before seen in the underworld. The connection between Ra and the mortals is strengthened by their fervent prayers on the surface. The people of Egypt, in temples and villages, chant hymns that reverberate through the cosmos, infusing the disk with renewed energy. The sun god feels the weight of despair give way to strength, and a new determination rises in his heart. Apophis, sensing the change, writhes in fury. Her scales gleam with a living darkness, and she launches one final attack. The serpent lunges forward, her jaws ready to destroy the solar disk once and for all. However, Ra, now radiating power, rises above the bark. With a powerful gesture, he channels all the energy of the disk into a single beam of light. The beam strikes Apophis directly, piercing her body like a celestial spear of fire. The serpent lets out a deafening scream that echoes throughout the duat. Her form begins to dissolve, her chaotic shapes crumbling before the pure light. Mott, standing beside Ra, watches with serenity, knowing that order has triumphed once again. Seth, though exhausted, stands firm, ensuring that no fragment of chaos survives. With Apophis defeated, the duat begins to change. The dark river calms, and the oppressive silence gives way to a tranquil emptiness. Ra's bark continues its journey, now free from obstacles. The solar disk regains its full brilliance, signaling that the night is coming to an end, and that the dawn will soon rise in the world of the living. As the bark approaches the exit of the underworld, Ra looks at his companions. Each has played a vital role, but he knows the battle will be fought again the following night. The cycle is eternal, and the balance of the cosmos depends on this repeated journey. When the bark emerges from the horizon, the first ray of sunlight cuts through the dark sky, heralding the dawn. The people of Egypt celebrate Ra's victory, unaware of the dangers faced the night before. For them, the rising sun is a symbol of hope and continuity, but for Ra, it is a reminder of his endless responsibility. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. If there's anything you'd like to discuss or suggest, please leave it in the comments section. Thank you very much. Until next time.